Hello folks, I'm Dan. I had previously built a Homebuilt Help style bending brake from their plans, and if you haven't seen that, I'll put a link up in the description up here. But the project for the day is to make a set of adjustable stops to go on that brake. So if that's something that interests you, hang around. This is my little chicken scratch print, and what we're looking at here is this is the bending leaf on our brake. This will be our hold down clamp over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of this angle iron, and it's going to sit down just like that. Will be the piece that sits right on top. And we're just going to make this, we'll shorten it up to whatever we want it to be. We're going to drill that for a 1/4 inch piece of ready rod to go through there. And we'll put a nut on either side of this. We're going to take our another piece of the same angle that we've shortened up the other leg on, or the front leg, and we're going to permanently weld our ready rod to this side of it. So it'll be welded in just like that. That will hold it rigid, keep it from flexing, and then we'll adjust it with a lock nut on either side of that, or 2 adjustment nuts on there, so we can run it forward and back for the amount of space that we need. Take another piece of this same little stock. We're going to shorten up the other leg of it, drill and tap it for a 1/4 20, and we will put a little hand screw on the bottom of that and weld it up. So that's our plan for the day. That will be our little project. I'm just going to take these over and machine the angles and drill and tap them. I'll show a little bit of that, but that's standard process. Now the other little thing is we've got our seal in for our 5th bearing, and since I haven't followed up with the 5th bearing for a while, there's actually our pattern. That's our pattern, pretty well ready to cast. I've still got a few little adjustments to make, probably to it as time goes on, but that project's progressing too. Once we get a little more progress there, why we'll shoot a little bit of video footage for that, let you know what's going on. All right, nothing stellar here. We're going to punch a number 7 drill bit hole through here to later on tap for our ready rod. This will be the top adjustment piece on the front. We're just going to drill all our pieces for right now. Then we'll go back and tap them to what our appropriate setting is. We've locked the table back, so we've got a 1/2 inch off the top, off the bottom, so we've got adjustment there. And we're just going to go ahead and pop 2 holes through there with number 7, and then 2 of them with 1/4 inch. Okay, those are our 2 top pieces there. And these will be our 2 clamping pieces on the bottom to hold it in place. The reason I did these at a different time is we've changed the position of them just a little bit of where the holes go. Alright, we've got all our holes drilled. Now let's go back over to the bench. We're going to go ahead and tap these and clean them up a little bit, and we'll go from there. Alright, well, all I'm going to do is take my two little pieces that are going to bolt together, and I left this all rough sawn. I haven't squared up the corners yet because for this project it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is just bolt these together, and then I'll take them to the mill. I'll even everything up and make them into nice little square pieces with fairly square edges, and then we'll just take them to the belt sander and sand them out, give them a little radius, and make them look pretty. Get things started. All we want is to be square on the bottom. It's the only place that makes a bit of difference for this project. Well, here's our little design. Now these pieces will get welded onto the bottom of here like that, and that's what will fit over our bending leaf, just like that. That'll get fitted someplace along there, and then we'll machine this down to match the upper contours of these. And for our top pieces, this will slide through, and there'll be a nut on either side of that to lock it in place. And this threads on just to start it, and then when I'm welding stuff up, we'll just plug weld that right into the end there, and that will give us our adjustment back and forth. So I'll go ahead and get those welded up, and then we'll machine them from there. Okay, we'll let those cool and machine off the edges of them. And here's our final itineration. I've got to grab my nuts and or my screws and heads that go on there. But this will set over the edge of that. This will set over the edge of our bending leaf if this was our leaf sticking out. That will set on there, clamp down from the bottom, lock it in place. We've got adjustment to move it in and out for how much we want to do. So I'm going to deburr these a little bit, clean them up a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and then I'll take them to the sandblaster and we'll powder coat them real quick. There's what they look like before they go into the oven. Alright, well that calls for 325 degrees for 12 minutes with that green. That's a John Deere green. And it varies from manufacturer to manufacturer. The 12 minutes they call for is after flow out. So what we'll do is I'll just keep an eye on it for a few minutes. It'll take it probably 5 minutes, as light as these pieces are, to come up to temperature and they'll flow. And they call for 12 minutes. We'll give it 12 to 15 minutes. It calls for 325 degrees Fahrenheit. With my oven, I can set it about 330. It'll stabilize in that area. And that's just about the variance I get in my oven. It seems to flow just 5 or 10 degrees set hotter than what they call for. Seems to flow a little bit better for me, so that's what we leave it at. So we'll leave it cook off, and then we'll pull them out of the oven and take a look at them after they cool down a little bit. There we go. We got a set of adjustable stops. I'll dig out the nuts and the thumb screws to go on there. We'll take some final pictures and fit it up on the bending brake, and this project will be done. Okay, we got a couple little clamping knobs here. Probably actually a little longer than they need to be. Or I know they're a little bit longer than they need to be. It's all right. Okay, let's go see if they fit on the brake. And here's our finished product. They will sit right on over the edge of the leaf, just like that. At whatever distance spacing we want them to be. You can very quickly with a wrench adjust those to whatever depth you want. You've got a consistent stop. It'll work real well on L angles where we've got a whole lot of repetitive bends with the same edge distance and everything. So we can set them up there close to the edge, put our material in there, and bend them, and they'll all be the same as long as we're building them all in the same setting. Or if we don't change our stops, we can put them back in and it'll still be fairly repeatable. So anyway, that was a fun little quick project, and we'll throw those in the toolbox and find a place for them to be. And we've got one more project done and one more little tool to make our builds go easier. So anyway, if you find these videos helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you hit the bell notification, you'll know when I put out a new video. And any comments or suggestions, leave them in the comment section for me below. Thanks for taking the time to watch, guys.